Welcome to E360 TV, the live streaming and on-demand destination for influential voices and enlightened audiences. We offer trending, grassroots, and purpose-driven content across a diverse range of interests. E360 TV is more than just watching programs. We offer the ability to interact with live shows connecting audiences to real, authentic influencers and storytellers while streaming to millions of devices. Real experiences. Raw conversations. One destination for it all. E360 TV.
5 years ago, the Power of We Symposium was created to provide a platform for kids from all sectors where they could have a safe and comfortable environment in which to share both their joys and concerns. The Power of We Symposium is proud to have served over 250 kids throughout Romania when we took our mission global back in May of 2023. Now, 2 teams of amazing volunteers from both the U.S. and Romania embarked on an 8-day Legacy of Hope tour, bringing encouragement and hope to not only the kids of Romania, but also the adults who support them, and also to over 100 kids here in the U.S. who contributed handwritten letters of hope to our Romania mission of 2023. Now, this year, we are proud to provide this opportunity yet again in October, and we are super excited to up our game. New venue, 750 kids this time, and we want to see you there. We're looking forward to meeting you in person at this year's event, which promises, as always, incredible speakers, amazing content, and of course, some of the greatest kids on the planet. So, mark your calendars for October 24th, and we'll see you here in Chicagoland for the Power of We Symposium 2024. This year's theme is Always Together, Never Alone. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite or at powerofwesymposium.com.
Before you get it, baby, show me your soul. And honey, I'll show you mine. I'll show you mine. Boy, I'm standing right here holding up a sign, shamelessly displaying my state of mind. You walk right past me, pretending like you don't see what's yours for the taking tonight.
Good morning. I scared Lucy, the cat. She just went, Lucy, come back, baby. I don't know why I've had this bell for 7 years. So how are you guys? Welcome to today's installment of Bathrobe Moments. I'm your host, Dr. Lauren. What a great weekend it was. How was your weekend? Put it in the comments. Tell me one highlight from your weekend. What was the most exciting part of your weekend? What was the most exciting part of mine? Well, we went bowling Friday night. I sucked, but it was still fun. I got a lot of work done. Rested. We watched The Color Purple. We were able to rent it here at home, which is, even though it's $20, you realize that when you rent something, it's like $20 at home, it's a lot cheaper than if you go to that theater. The popcorn is $20, let alone drinks and whatever else and the ticket price. So yeah, we watched it. It was interesting. It was good. I'm not too big on movie musicals. If I see a musical, I like to go and see it on stage, like on Broadway. Speaking of Broadway, I'll be a couple blocks from it this weekend, headed to New York City on Friday for a great in-person interview with Andrew Nominee. That is going to be on Saturday, and then I'll come back Sunday. So I've only been to New York City once, and it was with my husband Brian, and we saw what is that thing? It was a musical. The one, back about the fathers of the country. That one, Hamilton. We saw that, and a lot of fun. I'm kind of scared that I'll be there by myself. You know what I mean? It's such a big city, just bustle and hustle and hustle and bustle. But anyway, pray for me, you guys. Send lots of light and love. Excited about this interview, so that'll be fun. And I'm kind of stalling because I'm gonna have to go over here. I'm gonna use my phone and see if I can raise her. Our guest today, she was here. We were kicking it, boom, 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 and then I went to get. What did I do? I just put her in the green room, and then I excuse me, looked back and she was gone. So I don't know if she can't get back in. I'm gonna try to raise her here. Um oh that was nice. Okay, let me call her. Let's see. I want to make sure we can hear. You guys can hear what happened. I wish I had celebrities' phone numbers and we could call them right here on the show. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay. MAHWISH Syed. This is our guest today. She's a designer in New York City. New York City again. Oh, I wonder what happened to her. Let me just say this. Are you okay? I should say, are you returning? That's a better question because I know she's okay. Well, I'm assuming she's okay. Are you returning? Okay, I'll start without you and let you in when I see you're back. I hope everything is okay. And I just want to say this. I don't want to assume when you go like, I know you're okay because you were just here. Because one time, do you guys remember that one time I had the guest who COVID right back when COVID was first upon us and we didn't know much. COVID hit her right during the show. She started glistening and her eyes got watery and she just a lot happened. And she just messaged me. Let me see what she said. Hold on, you guys. I don't see you. It froze. No, you have to go out and come. Here she is. She's back. Okay, so I was gonna say, girl, we've been in here playing around for how many minutes? 5 minutes we've been in here together. I thought she was just like, you know what? I really don't care for the color of his robe. Bye. And just left. Because those New Yorkers, you think California's have diva. California has divas. Girl, okay. To quote RuPaul's Drag Race, she already done had hers. Any Drag Race fans out there? Brian and I watch it every Friday night when we come home from bowling. Love, love, love it. No desires to ever be a drag queen, although I was accused of impersonating a drag queen once on the streets of Las Vegas. Seriously, a woman walked up and said, I know who you are. I was like, you do? And she goes, yeah, you're one of Kenny Kerr's girls. And I was like, because I was still in the closet then. So I was like, excuse me? Who are you talking to? Right. Anyway, but it was the one who played Donna Summer. I said, well, who does this person impersonate? She goes, Donna Summer. I said, okay, at least she wasn't ugly. So, but I did dress up for Halloween. Outfit was in the back seat. So the police and everybody were looking back there like, oh. And I was like, it's Halloween. Don't get it twisted. But anyway, that's my little story about all of that. Can't wait for New York City this weekend. So our girl today, she's a diva, a New York fashionista. And I can say that because I've seen all the outfits on her website. We're going to see some today. But she's a designer, and not just your ordinary designer. She's a woo-woo designer, which means feng shui ain't got shit on her. I'm gonna just put it that way. And she's totally on point with it. I'm gonna get her in here. Here's the girl who was missing just a moment ago. Here she comes. The internet here is going in and out, so it probably dumped you. Good morning.
Good
Tell everybody
morning.
what's your name. Say your name correctly.
MAHWISH SYED.
Okay, now give us a nickname that we can say.
MAHWISH.
MAHWISH. See, that's the part. The up. Mao-ish. If you don't do that, it's flat. Say it again.
MAHWISH.
MAHWISH. And you say it like it's the most common name in the world, like Amy.
It's ancient.
It is?
Yes.
Now, is that your birth name?
It is my birth name.
Wow. So your mom and dad knew a little something.
Well, I was a honeymoon baby, Lauren.
You mean in the heat of the moment? That kind of...
It's funny. It predates biblical Judeo-Islamic. It has roots in Persian mythology.
Really? What
Yeah.
is your background? I can't, you never want to go by, guessing names because people get married, they get adopted. Tell us your root, your background.
My background, I was born in Pakistan. And so my background is Pakistani, but it traces back further west into Iran and Saudi Arabia.
Okay. Were you born in the States?
No, I was born in Pakistan.
How old were you when you came over here?
I was 7.
7. So you have some pretty vivid memories.
Oh, yeah. Well, we spent summers there. So I have a lot of family and a lot of connections and a lot of love.
Okay. I saw a picture of little you.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I saw that side by side. We were talking about the inner child. We're going to get into that. But listen, I want to give you the opportunity that I give all my guests. Instead of reading a boring bio, I'm going to dip out for a second and let you just create a vibe for about a minute with everybody. Tell them what you want them to know. And then I'll come back and we'll start hitting all these great points about all your work that they're going to be really amazed at all the things that are inside of your world. So you go, I'll come back and we'll get started. Sound good?
Sounds good. Thanks,
Okay,
Lauren.
take it away.
So, hi, everyone. My name is MAHWISH. I'm a designer in New York City. I was a fashion and interior and jewelry designer, and I'm actually designing your experiences right now. I've had 2 decades basically dressing bodies and houses. And what I love to do is to combine healing with design. I went through my own cancer journey and basically started writing about it, and it became a bestseller. It's called Purgatory to Paradise, and it's about basically how cancer helped me to design my authentic life. And what that means is to ground into your beauty, which I believe everyone deserves to have beauty in their life, not just the very wealthy. I believe that you have access to your own healing power. And as a matter of fact, your environment actually matters. So cancer basically allowed me to investigate my space, and I realized that over 2/3 of cancers are epigenetic, which means that they are not related to your genes, they're related to your lifestyle. So in exploring that, I realized that designing a space that is healing for you, basically removing what's an invisible toxin, we can discuss that, but also beauty is healing. So the art of neuroaesthetics, the science of neuroaesthetics, and it burgeoned into something even bigger than I expected. I started leading workshops at hospitals, and I also created a course for people who are going through cancer, who basically, if they had it, I had someone who helped me through. I'm a mentor for other survivors. And I created a course. So if you had a big sister who went through the same thing, you're like, oh my God, what can I expect? What should I be thinking about?
Yeah.
What kinds of things? Because had no idea.
What to
So
expect?
yeah, so I created something for people to use. Its mindset, its tips, and also it helps you design your space to help you with your healing. And there's a lot of research, and everything is backed by science, that your environment can actually aid in your recovery. And there are certain things that speed up by 30%. So
Yeah, right.
why not? And I employed those things intuitively until I realized, when I started studying it, it is actually backed by evidence. And it's not just woo-woo, Lauren. It's very much anchored.
It's real. Let me tell you how I know. You guys remember I was telling you about a new client. Well, not new now, but 8 months ago, I started working with a woman from Curacao, and she is an interior designer. She has a national television show over there. As a matter of fact, she's coming to Trajectory TV. But she does. Did I tell you about her when we were meeting? Oh my God!
No.
So, and I didn't even know everything about you at the time. That's probably why when I met you, we met through my coaching client, Robert A. Lane. You guys, he's been on the show. Remember Robert?
Yeah,
He's
of course.
the
Love
audiobook
Robert.
coach. Yeah, and you did your audiobook through him. Shout out to Robert A. Lane Coaching. So anyway, this young lady, she is, like I said, a design professional in Curacao, but she had, like, during COVID, 5 people, 6 people, some number like that in her life who all went through were in hospice for whatever reasons. And she went in and she noticed that their environments in there were so drab. She started redoing their rooms there, and 60% of them made full recoveries. So now that's what she does. She
What?
goes to people who are in hospice at home or in a place, changes their and their in the way they come back from the depths of ready to go to the upper room. A lot of them make full recoveries. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
From their environment, from changing the living space. So I know what you're saying is true because she's built an entire career on it. So
That's amazing.
I want to get started here with you, though. Tell me, let's go back to in the beginning or once upon a time. You had kind of let it slip when we were in the green room talking, and I was talking about the title of your book, From Purgatory to Paradise. And I said, well, you told me it was about your cancer journey. And I said, oh, well, that's good. Because I was assuming it was like this horrible, horrible relationship. And you go, oh, that too. I was in a toxic. Now, let me tell you why I'm starting there. Because, like, I was looking at all your pictures. I was like, she's so gorgeous. And that's the thing. A lot of people look at a person like you and would never think you know anything. She's too pretty to get cancer. She's too pretty to have gone through whatever you went through. So let's talk about, because beauty is a big thing for you, but it's not the beauty that most of us seek.
Exactly.
That superficial beauty.
Exactly.
Yours is underneath everything, where let's put it this way, there's beauty above the soil when we get ready and everybody sees us, and then there's beauty beneath the soil. All the things that no one can. In order to see it, you got to dig down in there. So let's get started with the day. What were you doing? What was going on in your world when you got that diagnosis? Because one moment you're living a certain way, and then the next minute you're like, what in the hell just happened? Take us down that road if you could.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And
nice.
Can I eat my raisin bran?
Please do.
Okay, go ahead.
So basically, when I received my diagnosis, it was very unexpected. I was going through a routine mammogram, and I could tell immediately, and I recommend anyone who is going through a mammogram to get an ultrasound as well. Yeah, it's really important. It's really, really important. And it was in the ultrasound where I wrote in my book, I saw the technician's face, and I just knew. We were chatting, we were talking about our kids, and suddenly she got real quiet. And so it was,
Did you ask her? Because I do. When anything sounds weird, because the ultrasound, and then you see them, if it goes, I said, what was that?
Right.
So did you ask her? I just want to know.
I
Did
know.
you say,
I didn't. It was one of those things where I didn't want to know the answer right away. Like I
and that
just
was
kind
an
of,
answer, and that is an
yeah,
okay.
yeah. I just kind of watched her. So it was really unexpected. And what you just said about what's deep below, and I think so many of us, we're living. Our bodies are the soil, are the living soil, and I
Mhm.
wrote about that. The metaphor is so apt because I believe that the soul, mind, body connection, it's not even a connection, it's a union, it's a marriage.
Mm.
And I feel like my body was in revolt without even me acknowledging what was happening. So I was in a narcissistic relationship, but at the time I didn't even know that word. I had no idea that I was there. So a lot of times the person who hurts you is also the one who saves you. And that's a lot of that, the manipulation that comes in. And I think they call it the Munchausen syndrome. But
Much.
basically, I was there. And so the person at the time who was there to help me was also the one who was hurting me. And my body, after going through these cycles, and I write about this in my book, where I wasn't in my parasympathetic state. I was in my fight, flight, freeze, or fawn, my trauma state from all the fights that we were having. It was cyclical. And there is a narcissistic cycle that everybody, acknowledges. And it was later and during my cancer treatment and so on that I was confronted by, and I couldn't be blindfold. I had to rip the blindfold off. And cancer actually was my doorway to freedom, Lauren. As crazy as it sounds, it was a doorway into me realizing the truth within my body,
I believe that.
accepting it,
Yeah.
and then figuring out how to design my world because that other world had crumbled.
Okay, wait. So the guy, the narcissist, was he still in your um let's say immediate space? In other words, were you still a bona fide couple at the time?
Yeah.
So you got okay, so you get the diagnosis and you come home and you tell him.
No, he was with me. He was with me.
How did he was
Uh, he
how
was
was his
supportive. But that's a whole other conversation. It's everybody handles the news of their partner differently, and there's emotional turmoil. And I've been through enough other medical issues where I'm very observant about how the other person handles it. And sometimes when you're an empath, you're more concerned about other people's feelings
of course.
than about your own and like what's happening to you. So it's more about like managing their emotions and managing how they're handling it versus
Mhm.
what it's really like for
Mhm.
you and processing
Mhm.
what it's really like
No,
for you.
any history of cancer in your family?
Yes, yes. So my aunt, she passed away from the same diagnosis the summer prior. It was devastating, and I didn't even get to tell my extended. I didn't want. I was so afraid to tell my mother because that was her younger sister. I was afraid to tell my mom. I thought it would just completely just obviously devastated. But she rose to the occasion, much to my surprise, and was here flew in every single time to help me with my chemo sessions.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I just feel like, by the way, genetically, I tested negative, so there was no genetic link to having
Okay.
it.
Although
So
it was in your family, it was present, but that, it's our lifestyle.
yes,
It's our
yes.
lifestyle. And so I wanted to get that off the table. And you said, yes, it is in our family.
Oops, I think you froze.
And in creating this situation, did you have a hand?
Hi,
Okay,
you're
we're back.
back.
Yeah, and you can keep going. So let me ask you though. So here was the question. Did you feel, since you had the knowledge, the information that it's not a genetic marker, did you start looking for the footprints of how it actually could have happened? And this is how you can
Exactly.
talk about
Yeah.
that. Talk about that.
Yeah. Because then I started doing the research. I'm like, well, I mean, I started auditing my home. What could cause? I started doing the research. What could, like basically threw out my frying pans that had Teflon on them because
Mhm.
that's a known toxin. Things like that, Lauren. So, and also, I want to mention emotions matter. Emotions are connected to your biology in more ways than you realize. So even when we suppress emotions, and I talk about this in my book, my aunt, she was the paragon of a good woman. So what we've taught from a traditional Pakistani Muslim background is you suppress your pain. There's a level of stoicism that is praised. The more you can handle your pain with grace, the better woman you are. And that means not speaking up, not actually expressing. And I believe she suppressed even her diagnosis. She was not willing to even confront that and didn't take the right care for herself because she didn't want to trouble anyone and cause anyone else grief about herself. But
Right.
in the end, it's not the right way because you rob everyone of your presence eventually. So you do have to take care of yourself, and taking care of yourself. Everyone bandies this word about, self-care, self-care. What does that actually look
Look
like?
like. Okay, time out. Okay, because here's I'm the kind I'm gonna bring the traffic guard out and make her stop traffic in all directions because in these types of interviews, so many people we always hear about how it was and then how it turned out. But I'd like to go back to that moment, let's say that first night when you were laying in bed, when you were sleep. Where is it? Where are you, sleep? You can't go to sleep. You're feeling like there's something in my body that I don't want in there, and it's right here with me right now in this second. You almost wish you could. I would, you know what I'm saying? Like if I could reach in there and take you out, I would. All the things you start thinking about, like if you hear because people have told me instantly they start thinking when you hear, oh, we're going on a cruise next August, a year from now, you want to come? A lot of them think, well, will I be alive?
Yeah.
It's hard to plan. It's hard to dream. It's hard to believe. There's a lot of fear. You feel like you're being stalked in a way, but this is that place where you use everything within you to do exactly what you've done and so many others have, but there are those who still don't understand what that thing is. So let's talk about when you decided, am I going to go to the right where I'm going to beat this no matter what and I'm not just talking shit, or I'm going to go to the left. I guess it's over for me because we see how it turned out. But talk about that murky area of where it was. Mm, mm.
I honestly, Lauren, I still am. I'm a mother to a beautiful son, and he was 9 at the time, and there was no way I wasn't going to be around for him. There was no way. There was no way. There was not
See how you
any,
say that? See? Not even an option.
not an option.
So you didn't consider, you didn't
Mm-mm.
weigh the things. You just said you got to work.
Oh yeah, immediately,
Wh-
immediately.
Where did you go first? What was the first thing you said? Oh, okay, wait a minute. Here's what I need to do for. How did you know?
Because I saw the side of someone who was too afraid. I have friends, I have people, I've known people who don't want to know. I wanted to know everything. And I was like,
Okay.
okay, as soon as I know, then I know what to do. And I wanted to know. I wanted to know as expeditiously as possible. I wanted to take care of it as expeditiously as possible.
Now, did you know you were this kind of person when that happened? Like
Yeah,
if someone would have asked you a year before, girl, if they ever tell you got cancer, what do you think you're gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Or did you know you were capable of not even an option? Or did it surprise
oh,
you just a little?
no, it didn't surprise me because
Mm.
my son was born 3 months early, and I was in the hospital a month before that. I was determined to make sure he was okay, and with that level of determination. The mama bear was already built when he was born, and or even before he was born. I was absolutely not. I'm like, I didn't go through that hell to come out and go in. Like, I'm not leaving. I'm
Right.
not leaving. If I
Right.
could do that, I could do this.
Okay. So, what do you think it is? I know this is a huge universal question, but I got to ask. For you personally speaking, what do you feel it is that allows some of us to do what you did and then others of us to do the exact opposite? What would you attribute that to?
Oh, great question, Lauren. I'm not afraid of death. I have made friends with death. I have, and this is a huge part of my book and my work actually, and what you said about hospice really rings clear. We live in a world and a society that is afraid of dying.
Yes.
Biohacking is all about postponing death. It's all about, how to live as long as possible when your life is not even living. When you're in fear, your life is like it's a nightmare most of the time because you're so living in a state of fear and a state of contraction instead of expansion. So why am I not afraid of death? Because I grew up in a culture where death was there, pretty much in my face, but also the underworld, what's below the ground, below the surface. So the backbone of my book and my whole life philosophy is that I'm the embodiment of the goddess Persephone. And Persephone is the goddess of the seasons who's abducted by Hades and taken down into the underworld. And that underworld, while she's there, she eats pomegranate seeds. Those were my cancer lessons. Those were the lessons I learned while I was underground when cancer, as Hades, took me into my underworld, where I learned to ground into my wisdom and become a queen. And to be sovereign, to be a queen, to be sovereign, to be a king, is to be anchored into the darkness, your shadow side. Okay. You have to embrace all those parts of you. And I'm a big gardener. I love nature. I love biophilic art. That's another backbone of my work. And if you look at nature, nature is all about recycling. It's all about renewal. Lauren, our bodies are in a state of autophagy. We are constantly recycling ourselves. We are constantly recycling our organs. We are constantly regenerating ourselves at every moment. We are going through cycles of life and death, and we don't recognize it's a normal and
Skin,
gorgeous
cell.
process.
Yes, you're right.
Yes,
You're absolutely right. Not something we talk about or even think about that often.
right. So I believe that when you talked about I got to get this thing out, it was actually I didn't have a battle with cancer because Persephone and Hades are married. They are lovers. I loved it. I loved my body. There wasn't any kind of, a
You
fight.
betrayed me and
Yeah, no, no. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? Why would I? Would you ever tell your own child like that's a part of you? And so I thought to myself, well, if it's not genetic, like what happened? What's causing this? And I do believe emotions play a part. I do believe, for example, and I wrote this in my book, like say your roof collapses, okay? Do you like put another roof on without investigating what caused that collapse? You investigate. Was it, thawing? Was it winter? Was it the environment? Just that the integrity was broken down? Was it a lack of, good construction?
yeah.
Was it the materials that you used that wore away? What caused it? So you investigate. So your body is your home. That's the
It
metaphor,
could be an
right?
act of God.
Right.
You see to me,
So,
a tree could fall into your.
exactly. So I believe that we all have the ability and the agency to investigate and not just accept our diagnosis for what it is.
Yes,
And right?
right there. Let me just say because I've heard this, all these years on this show, and I've had a lot of people who, not just cancer, all kinds of of things, diagnosis. And a lot of them say I had to choose whether I was going to give this disease permission to continue or send it back from whence it came. And a lot of people don't think that that's a possibility, but I think that it's that the reason there are people like you and all the others of examples of I won, I beat it, I send it into remission, I what do you call that when you I banished it. I think a lot of people who came through it, they're solely responsible. Yeah, they went through chemo. Yeah, they did this, or yes, they did that because they're playing along. But the real thing that pushed it back and then sealed the hole that it came through, welded that manhole cover down. And so, because then you don't want to live in fear, because that's what people say is the thing they feel and hear and smell the most after a diagnosis. You can fear very easily, which takes away a lot of your divine power. Now, you talk about goddess and this and da 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 and the power. Tell us how a person who has no reference point to any of these things that give you your faith, because faith, in my opinion, is not a thing, it is a place, and it is, you find yourself standing in that place when you need it. So talk about how it was for you because it's not just how you're thinking, it's about the people that you tell, how a lot of them will drag you down the, oh, you're gonna die pit. I'm so sorry. Sit down. Should you be doing that? You know what I'm talking about, where they've already half buried you. They're ordering the flowers, they're laying out their black dresses, and you're going the opposite direction. But you know that they're thinking it. You see it on their faces. You know they're afraid to bring it up, or they bring it up too much. Talk about that dicey shit.
I will. Yeah. Thanks for that. Well, remember when I said I'm more concerned about other people's feelings because I'm managing how they're reacting to my news, right?
You said it, yes.
And I wrote an article for Elephants in Tea magazine called "You're Not Alone and I Love You Too," and in it, it was basically speaking to the unseen parts of the diagnosis. And you lose a lot of friends. You lose a lot of people who you thought were your supporters. And some of them can't handle it.
It scares a lot of people when someone could be dying.
Well, it's not like I have cooties. It's not contagious. It's like suddenly they feel like, oh my God,
right.
I'm going to catch it.
You have what? Oh, right.
So I think that also, and it's amazing to me. It was kind of even before people talk about, things happening during the pandemic to, all these shifts and changes with their social circles. Mine happened with my cancer before that. It just cleared the room. Basically, I realized who was really in it and for what reason, right?
How do you think that happened?
Because, one, there is fear of cancer, but the other also is some people derive a lot of pleasure in, or I don't know, they like helping. Some people like helping someone when they're suffering. Other people can't handle that. It really shows you people's capacities. It's not really about, it's just their capacity to deal with the shadow, right?
That's it. Because you know what I think, and not to cut you off, but I think it's the same thing as, like, say you're on a highway and traffic's backed up and you go, oh, must be a horrible accident up there. And you get up there and it's just somebody with a flat tire because everybody had to slow down. When something's on fire, there's a big group of people across the street staring at it burning because people are infatuated with this thing. Oh my God, I'm glad that's not me. You know what I mean? Or, ooh, if I hang around, you see what I mean? It's like, look what. Okay, here we're back. Take us into some of the lessons learned. So people are not necessarily who you think they are, because this is also giving you blessings. Because how else could you have known that these people were going to disappear on you, or that they were different than who you thought they were? Take us into those lessons learned. What would your top 3 lessons be?
Oh my gosh. Number one lesson I would say is that I employed my beauty and my environment to help and create these rituals to help me heal. And I did that in my own space in isolation. And it was as simple as using dishes and silverware that I hadn't used in forever because, the purgatory is like, hey, we're waiting for the special occasion. I'm like, well, maybe that special occasion is now. I don't know how this treatment's going to come around. I might as well use my best china and my best dishes. Even if I was only able to eat a sliced banana, I would place pansies as dressing on my banana. They're edible, by the way.
Right.
So I dressed it up. I'm the designer. So I designed these rituals for me to celebrate every single moment. Because why not? Why not now? Stop living in purgatory. Live your paradise right now.
Right now. It's all about stewardship.
Yes.
Doing the best with everything you have. And that is I love that analogy. All of us do this. All of us have people in our family. My Aunt Candy, God rest her soul, she had the same couches in her living room probably for 50 years because she had them covered with plastic this thick. I don't want to, even though they, you know what I'm saying? They were like antiques. But the thing about it is we are afraid to celebrate. Like, she's gone. There you are. Okay, you're back. Yeah, every day should be a special occasion.
It is a special occasion. We just have this idea that this wedding or this vacation or, this anniversary is like the time that I dress up. I have been a fashion designer. Every day is special. Every day is a day to look your best. And by the way, we are so many different identities. One day you want to rock Persephone and wear like gothic clothes, you can. Other days you want to rock Aphrodite and wear slinky stuff, you can. Basically, we have the ability to create our paradise. And I truly mean this. Paradise is on earth.
Amen.
It's here right now. And I do realize that your environment, who you surround yourself with, the people that you talk with, the people that you share your soul with, those people, you can curate the right ones and basically make a decision about the ones who drain you, who you end up feeling like kind of just not right.
Tolerated and not celebrated. All of that. So let me ask you this. So you start like using the china and being good to yourself. Were you shocked at how you thought you were doing well with, what I mean? Because for instance, hairdressers, a lot of people who do, and makeup artists, they, you see them, they're the ones with their hair all underneath a scarf or sunglasses I don't put on it because they're so busy doing it for everybody else. They leave themselves out of the equation. So were you doing that in the design of your own life? So busy dressing and designing other people's beauty that you were maybe neglecting some form of your own?
You know that analogy or that parable of the cobbler's children. I've been designing. Yeah, exactly. So I've been designing other people's homes and decorating them for decades. And suddenly I look around and my own home was a hodgepodge. So Lauren, you hit the nail on the head. I started redecorating during my cancer treatment, completely changed everything. And yes, I deserve that beauty. I started investing in art and really I had a picture of a certain artist. For 10 years, I had gone to a gallery and fell in love with this artist. And I never thought, oh, that could be mine. You don't, sometimes we push ourselves. We think that, again, this emphasis of everyone deserves beauty is so important because a lot of times you rule yourself out from, seeing something. You're like, oh, but that's them. That's not me. I can't have that. Yes, you can. And that's why it's so important. What I developed is actionable steps, accessible things that you can do in your own space that will completely change your mood.
Clearly, if doing it after you get the diagnosis can turn everything on its heel and send it in the right direction, renewal, revival, Why do we wait until there's a diagnosis? So you're saying that if we read, through your work, we can learn how to better implement these things. Stay. It's like when a doctor says, "Don't wait until your toothache has you standing on your head. Take this as soon as you feel something and stay ahead of the pain." It's kind of like that. Staying ahead.
Right.
Don't wait for a diagnosis. Create your own. Right?
Create your own. And I think, Lauren, we have agency. We have more agency than we realize. And I think we're living in a society where we're divorced from agency so that someone else can come in and control what we find good or bad, and, or buy this or buy that. I think right now we have the power to change everything and to pivot. It's not like this crazy, like, change, like 180. It's a pivot. You can change 5 degrees. You can change 2 degrees, and already your direction changes drastically.
Yep.
Right?
Yes.
You don't have to go crazy. I'm not saying throw the baby out with the bathwater.
No.
I'm saying make one change for yourself that you can hold yourself to. And that's what I started doing during my cancer treatment. And I realized, oh my gosh, I could have this. Why can't I have this? Of course. And again, mindset is everything, because when you make that decision, just as much as you make that decision, okay, I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to come out the other side better than ever. Right?
What about this? I just download. Here it comes. I was instructed to ask this question, so it's probably pretty powerful. What about in your work when someone calls you, someone reaches out to you and they say, "Listen, I want to clean up my space. I want more healing available within reach." And then you go in and some of the things that you point out, they're not willing to let go of yet. Because
Yeah.
what are you talking about, lady? I've always had, talk about that struggle to get people to loosen the death grip on things that are not serving them.
That's a great question. I think mindset is so important. So when you do the shadow work, when you realize, what is that death grip about? Why are you holding on to this? What's the fear?
What is shadow work? Somebody out there doesn't know.
Shadow work is basically looking at the parts of us we refuse to look at and finally paying attention. Because I think, we're both light and shadow. We're not 100% perfect. I think we're taught to just present this shiny face, a mask, if you will, for the world. Filters. I mean, filters make it so easy.
Yeah.
But to be able to face your reality, right? All the parts of you that you're not proud of, all the parts of you that annoy you, all the parts of you that you've rejected. I don't like that about me. I think it has a lot to do with one's childhood too, because as a child, your parent either emotionally mirrors you or they make your emotions uncomfortable or inconvenient for them, right? You're not supposed to feel sad. Be happy. Why are you sad? Like, it depends on how you were raised. I think that has a lot to do with it. But at the same time, no matter how you were raised, you still have the ability to change your reality now.
And you know what? Ooh, I got chills with this one that just came through. I wrote it down seriously while you were talking. It makes perfect sense. And I've never in 61 years thought of it like this. Remember at the beginning of this conversation, we were talking about the fear part, how you had to choose if, fear was going to run the day or not. And then I just wrote down, we say this all the time. Oh my goodness, I was scared to death. You can be scared all the way into the arms of death. Because there's a difference when you're running from something as opposed to when you're running towards something other. And so that's really the choice. It comes down to choosing and making a choice. Go ahead.
What you said was so great. How we speak matters. Our words are vibration. They are prayer. And we don't realize we have the power in our words to choose hell or heaven.
That's so true. That's so true. Because I'm just, for instance, if you're laying in bed the 2 days after your diagnosis and your family or someone comes in and they just say, "Come on, get up, we can beat this thing." And you go, "Whatever." That's like a blank check to you. And things that do not serve us, it's like they smell that in the air. Like, well, you smell that? Right. And so
Mhm.
we have to control the narrative. So let me ask you this. What kinds of things do you suggest people are what do we stock in our spiritual pantries? What do we make sure are inside of our emotional cabinetry that keeps
Mm.
us moving closer to this preventative mindset?
I love that spiritual cabinetry. That's such a great image, Lauren. I believe that we have to make peace with our demons and invite them in.
Mm.
And I love the poem by Rumi called The Guest House, where the mean thought, the malice, the despair, invite them into your house and treat them as honored guests. They may rend your house of its furniture, but
Mm.
each one brings a gift for you. And so I believe that we have to embrace the things, the discomfort. We have to be okay with the discomfort and allow these emotions to pass through us, because if we resist them, they come back harder.
They come back harder. I tell people, "Oh, you are so spot on, girl, for real." I can't. I hope I get to see you when I come this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I'm going to ask you about that. Because listen, here's the deal. Here's the deal. You're right. We have it within us to face anything and everything, but it's a matter of remembering who we are. You see what I mean? Who we are. We're the only creatures on this earth that can speak. That means that everything around us works for us. They are there to serve us. And I'm really amazed at you. I mean, I was surface. I don't know what word I want to put after that, but I was looking at all your stuff from the surface, but sitting here talking to you just baptized me, if you will, into your entire journey, all the way back to even when you said death was in your face all the time before you even came to this country and
Yeah.
things like that. And I just love what you're doing. You're gifted. And most importantly, your work is anointed.
Oh, thank you so
You,
much, Lauren.
it really is. And you're a brilliant woman. Your mind, you could have done anything. You could have been a doctor. You could have been an engineer. You speak like brilliance.
Oh, you're so kind. Thank you so
I'm
much.
just telling you what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling. Let me ask you this. We see on the screen two roads to where people can continue the dialogue with you. I want them to get the book. So that's the one downstairs, right? Your website.
Yeah, that's my website. And my book is called
Oh.
Purgatory to Paradise, which is available on Amazon, and it's also on Audible if you don't like to read and you'd rather listen to me while you're gardening or cooking. It is narrated by me, thanks to Robert.
Robert Lang.
Thanks, Robert. And I really do. It's a very easy, I think it's a very easy read. And it's surprising because I weave design, I weave science, spirituality, and a personal story that is, I believe, will resonate with a lot of people in many different ways.
I agree. Now, you have a free gift for everyone that's
Yes.
scrolling along the bottom. And you guys, I'm going to drop that link. Don't you worry. I'm going to drop that link in case you can't write it down or you're driving in the comment section. So you can go back anytime, day or night, click on it, go and grab your gift. Tell them what it's all about.
It is my three beauty tips, basically things that I think can help you attain accessible beauty right here, right now. It's at claimyourparadise/opt-in. And I would love for you to be a part of my spiritual family and design family, because it's important that we maintain the tapestry of all our beauty together.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I hang out for just a second if you can at the end,
Sure.
because I want to hook up with you because I am coming to your neck of the woods, and if not, really. Plus, now I'm just so. Oh my goodness, you're the real deal. You're
Thank
the
you.
real deal. When are you going to have your own TV show?
Oh my gosh, soon, soon. But seriously, Beauty that I talk about is very much rooted in divine grace. That's the beauty. And
Divine.
yeah,
Yeah.
it is. It
Yes.
is.
That's what I tell you guys. There it is. Anything that matters to you, right? If it means something to you, that means it should be full of meaning so that it can go out and do what it's supposed to do for the world, ease suffering and all of that. So just remember this. I'm looking at you. I can't even talk when I look at you. You're so on it. What an anointing you have. It is this, you guys. Everything happens for a reason. There are no mistakes. That's the universe keeping all of our shit interesting. That's all it is. You got to trust. You got to believe. Get up. Keep going. Keep showing. This universe works on a need to know basis, which is based on a need to grow basis. It's the reason they're called growing pains and not growing tickles. Be encouraged when it hurts. That, after all, is how the light gets in. So I just want to leave you guys with that. Oh, I am just so excited about you. Round of applause. Oh, wait, I'm on a new, I wish I knew, where's that stuff? I have to learn how to do it. I'm on this new thing and they got all, here we go. Wait a minute. Da, 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 da. Oh, I don't know how to hit the, there it is. I'll do that. This for you. Wait, it's not working. Crowd cheering is supposed to be playing. Anyway,
It's all right.
I am. Listen, I love what you're doing. You're welcome back anytime. Final thought. If people were going to forget everything you shared today, what would be that one line that you would hope they would never forget?
You deserve beauty today, not tomorrow, and you can create your paradise now.
Well, there you have it. Listen, thank you so much for being here today. I just love your work, and if anything I can do, you let me know to help get it out there even further. And for all of you out there, thank you. I couldn't do this without you every day, Monday through Friday, nor would I wish to. I am a better me because of you. Trust me. So listen, I'll meet you here tomorrow morning over on the front porch, God willing, where we can do this all over again, another illuminated conversation. And so now I commission you, I challenge you, I dare you to get out there and find just a little piece of your highest self and then turn and give it away to whatever or whomever is standing right next to you. You'll be glad you did. I'm Dr. Lauren. I'll see you tomorrow. And as always, in closing, I tell you from the bottom of my spirit, I love, love, love you. And there ain't a damn thing you can do about it. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much. Great job. Great job.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Show me your soul. Baby, I'll show you mine. Show me your soul. Honey, it's way past time.